Unfortunately, I didn't get to spend as much time in the Keane Wonder mine as I wanted to. Most of this exploration was surface side. The Park Service has pretty much closed up most of the portals. They've barred them off. It wouldn't surprise me in a few years if some people open these back up, however. It is quite the hike to get up to the mine itself, so it's kind of surprising to me that they actually bothered. I'm sure that there are plenty of other ways into this mine. I checked out all the entrances that I could find, and unfortunately, most of them were closed off. I did find a way into the stoping above, and you'll see that in this video. I'm sure if I had spent more time inside, I would have maybe found a shaft that wandered its way down into the lower workings, but we were limited on time. And at the time, we thought we were actually going to be able to explore some other mines in Death Valley, but due to some unannounced road closures, this ended up being the only real site that we could check out. That being said, it was still really cool. There's an awful lot left behind to see, and definitely leaves grounds for me wanting to go there again and check it out maybe sometime later in the year or next year, because there's just so much left behind that it almost would take a week to expose it all. Alright, so we're just entering the site of the Keane Wonder Mine Mill now. This is one of the finer examples of surviving operations in Death Valley, though there are hundreds. But for a larger scale operation, surviving with tram towers included, this is one of the finer examples, and it's not too hard to get to, which means that the Park Service has kind of made it a little bit less fun to explore. They've got tons of signs everywhere warning you not to do this, not to touch that. But everywhere you look, you find openings. So there's still a lot of history still here. I think that was a latrine, Dad. That's a latrine. That was an outhouse.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
an outhouse.
What that was. You're right.
Yeah. I'm looking at it. All the people that come up here and have to carve their name into stuff. Look. Oh, that goes back to 1978. One nice touch about the Park Service taking over the site is that there are some history boards posted. And this is kind of neat. The only weird thing is it conflicts with the web page. There's a web page on this area that gives different dates. So I'm not sure which set is correct, but I decided to put these in the video anyway. So,
And that's when $1 million was worth
a lot more.
Stone gold was like $30 an ounce.
Yeah.
So my information said 1907 to 1912. This says 1904
now like,
to 1917.
Yeah.
And I got my information from the
Hundreds
Parks website. So, and this is a Parks board. So, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna pan over this for you guys, just like I did with the ovens over there in Carbonado. That way we get the information right.
I wonder what that is. There. Could be something.
That was a big wheel. I gotta say, even if we don't find any caves, this is This is pretty cool enough already. Considering that most of the relics that we have in the Northwest are gone, this is pretty cool. So you can kind of see where the Park Service has been reinforcing the structure, remodeling it a little bit over the years to keep it from leaning in on itself and collapsing. I guess they do what they can, but unfortunately a lot was already kind of taken out. More than likely the companies that, you know, operated out of here were the ones to pull out most of the stuff. They pretty much left in a hurry, go and repurpose it somewhere else in the valley. So
This is part of the finish right there.
I did that. Hey, these look like store-bought nails.
Yeah, the galvanized.
you guys are ruining the historical value.
Yeah, they're worried about us ruining it, and they're fucking ruining it.
It's one of the buckets, I guess. They're probably, I mean, just a frame for one, not actually the bucket, but
Yeah, evidently
they
there
detach.
must have been some kind of track that mounted to those things
Yeah.
and brought it around.
Yeah.
Now it's time to join us for the 1 mile hike up the tram line to the mine's surface workings. Still here after all these years. It goes and goes and goes. You come up to a peak and you think you're getting somewhere and you realize you got a long way to go.
What do you see?
A long way to go. Looks like the Park Service is gonna get started on fixing some of these. They really don't look all that bad. This one probably is the one. Yeah, look at that. Look at the forces in motion here. There's an awful lot of weight on this corner. Look at what it's doing. That's what they're here to fix, I guess. And I don't see any stock that looks that thick. So I don't know what they're going to do. That's one hell of a span. Pretty heavy, I'll bet.
They probably didn't even take
They better get on fixing this soon, because if that goes, that's gonna suck for the whole rest of the infrastructure. We saw a cave over there. You can see it right there. So for the entire walk up there, you can see all kinds of mines scattered everywhere, mostly on the neighboring hill adjacent to us. Now, if any of the mines were left open, it would probably be these ones because they're really hard to get to. We didn't have any time to make our way over there since we only had one day, so we decided to just walk to the main mine. They left some of the cars.
Oh yeah, there it is. Okay.
Isn't that cool? They actually left a few of them. One of the signs that give away that you're near a mine camp is usually there's a pile of cans not too far from it. Seems to be common around the late 1800s, early 1900s. So if you find a big old pile of rusty cans, you're probably near the mine, or at least their camp.
I think so. That's what having power up here.
Hey, look at that.
What
You see that? A bunch of wheels and
Yeah, that's what.
is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Cable control
Yeah.
It looks like one of the pylons came down right here. You
Yeah.
see that? Am I aiming it? Yeah. But it looks like it didn't matter. The cable stayed up anyway.
Wow. Damn, cable's pretty tough.
First mine of the site.
Follow the track.
There's our old haulage tunnel, I presume, since it's at that level. Look at how everything's kind of getting ready to come down a little bit here at the edit, the portal. It would be really cool to go in. So what's interesting is I didn't actually notice the Orbin on the left there until I got home and reviewed the footage. So even though I didn't get to go in, it was kind of nice to review the footage and see that little surprise there that I hadn't noticed. It was kind of dark in there and it kind of blended in with the rest of the cave walls, so that's probably why I didn't notice it initially. Obviously done some work, so I don't doubt that they didn't do the same thing up there. But I'm crazy enough to go up there and look, because we came all this way, and I guess I owe you guys at least that, huh? Wow.
Isn't that something?
Though I don't really know much about it, we did manage to find one of the old cable winches. We kind of checked it out. Some of the pieces still move. I don't know how that operated. Oh, must have connected to here. Not sure.
No, that,
You got your man handle. Here's your man levers.
this thing goes in and out.
Some brake?
This thing is weirded by this.
Oh,
But
that's
somehow
cool.
This was connected here. I'm sure everybody comes up and does that.
Pretty stuck.
Piston's still in there, but it's frozen. I'm sure it's frozen.
There's the brake. Wood pads. Yep. Slow down the winch. Now here's one. I can't blame them for closing. Holy shit. Oh, it's not as deep as I thought though. Still deep. That still hurt. That's not too bad. I thought that was worse. I see something over there. We noticed an old wheelbarrow sitting right there on the top of the hill. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. I'll go over there and check it out if I have some time still. Getting a little low on my battery, so I gotta take it easy. Okay. Yeah, it's another closed up hole. I can already see the grates. And there's another one above that. But I like to check these out because sometimes people get a little creative on how they get inside. And you just never know. Sometimes they chisel their own way in. I apologize that these clips get a little bit quicker. We're running out of battery life. That sign seemed to be on the wrong side. What do we got here? A little winds on down. That's not too bad. Don't want to lose my camera though. Another barred in entrance. I got news for you guys. That top one, it's gonna be blocked. But we'll check it out. We'll do it. Because there's some cool stuff up there. It kind of looked like there was a big tank or something. I don't think this is the way up. We'll give it a try. We'll see if I can get up there. I'm not gonna promise anything, but I'm gonna try. Okay, well, I'm at the upper workings, and largely the same. A lot of things caged in, some collapses that they caged over, reopened adits. One hell of a view. Isn't that nice? I'm gonna take a picture of that. Anyway, there's one way in. As you can see, no steel barring, just a chain link fence. Some barbed wire on top. There's another opening above my head as well, caged off. All these caged ones are really simple. I'm gonna go and check that out over there real quick. I'm gonna see what that's about, that little tank. Also on the way up here I found a bowl. It's kind of interesting. Old steel bowl with ceramic on it or something. One hell of a hike to get to this point. Right now I'm walking on all kinds of collapse. They probably blasted, or maybe an earthquake brought it down, who knows. BLM did a number on this place, but there are still ways in. I see, look at that, you see that fence? You see how it doesn't complete? It could just be from my perspective, but I believe they got lazy up here. The chain link fence alone suggests that. So I'm gonna go up there real quick. I'll let you know in a second. Yep, they did a real lazy job up here. There's a neat old tank. It's got some writing on it there. On the other side. Yeah, they got lazy. This big room and pillar mine up here. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. Some gobbing. Little gob trail. Yeah. Look at what I came up. I don't know if you can put that in the perspective. I mean, you guys kind of remember the mill. I got a nice little overshot of everything up here. Take a few pictures. Well, I still can. Some action shots, I guess. Hopefully those turn out okay. I got one hell of a headache. Dehydration, as you can imagine. It's not really that hot out here, we're fortunate. But still, a lot of physical activity. Looks like they had a rail up here, maybe. It's one piece of one. I'm gonna check in with my crew here real quick, and you know, I might go into this just a little bit. We'll see. Okay, so I see why they didn't complete the fence. They didn't think anybody would be crazy enough to climb it. The crew gave me a few minutes. Let's go check out some mines, guys. That's why we came here, right? I'd like to get more of the mill, though, too, so I don't want to run out of footage. So we're only going to go for a couple minutes. We'll go in there, see what it's like, and get the hell back out. I didn't bring my mask, so hopefully it ain't dusty. Probably not the smartest thing to do, but hey, I'm already up on sketchy rocks anyway, right? I might as well go contact the cave people. No, we might as well go and take a peek. So this is a room and pillar mine. I'm sure a lot of you guys who watch mine channels already know what that is. It's when they cut out big sections like this and they leave pillars like so. And that's got to be just so tempting to the miners when it has ore in it, you know. But this is essentially how they hold the rest of the hill up when they decide they want to take out a big section. Ooh, the air is nice. Nice and cool. Tumbleweed. I wonder if anybody else has been in here in a while. A lot of gobbing. Oh yeah. I'd rather not go too far without my crew. It's big. Kind of spooky. Oh, it startled me. Just light from outside. Thought it was a flashlight. Check that out. Mighty thin timbers. So, this stope didn't go in as far as I thought it was going to, but it's possible that that is due to a collapse. At one time, these workings may have linked up with the lower ones below. I'm not too sure. There was another set of workings up here that I didn't explore, didn't really have a lot of time, and those workings may link up with the lower shaft. If that's the case, I'm sure if I had searched longer, I might have found my way in further to the mine. Then again, though, it may be just as likely that the body of ore up here was separate from the lower workings, and if that was the case, the miners may have just been throwing the ore over the side of the hill. So either it collapsed, and I'm standing on the collapse, or they just didn't dig it very far. Maybe they didn't have much to find in here. Here's another shot looking at that Matinol tank and manufacture company out of LA, California. I wonder how old that is. Looks like my dad made it over to the wheelbarrow. That's where we're heading next. There was another hole over here I could have got into. It might have just done the same thing, or it might have gone somewhere. Typically, these upper stopes do lead down to a haulage tunnel, but not always. Sometimes they just threw it off the side of the hill. You know, maybe the upper vein didn't go very far. You know, it's always a possibility. So, I don't know too much about the mine's history other than some dates, which now I found out were kind of incorrect. Got two conflicting dates. But that's okay. That seems to be common with a lot of the history that I run into. I get two different dates and two different stories. No hiking, and just no. No, nothing, no cracks. I can see there was a little guy there. I did, there's plenty more of them up here. Over this way. Take a quick little peek. I think the guy said he walked over here. I see a foundation and some cable right there. Oh yeah, there's probably a dugout right here too. This is one hell of a claim. It looks like this path would continue going to the other side. Oh, look at that. Huh. Look at that. Whew. Let's find out how deep it is. It goes down a little ways. There's a cable off to this side here. It almost makes you wonder. I wonder if they were just dragging ore up this way. Maybe this was a haulage, like a head frame. Because you look over here, there's a foundation there. Alright, so this is kind of weird, because there was definitely a winch on that foundation down below, and you can see all the cable suggesting that there was something there. But the weird part is, why would the main haulage tunnel for this part of the workings be up so high above the winch? You would think that they would want to build closer to the mine, and I know that there's limited space to build there, but you would think that pretty much where they set that winch, that pad, would have been a better spot to dig the actual haulage tunnel instead of having to haul ore up just to haul ore back down. It's kind of weird. And the other weird thing was, all along that hill between the pad and the adit there, I didn't see any evidence that there was a head frame. So either a lot of ground had collapsed around it, or they tore it all down and it's buried long ago. Not too far from that winch foundation were some pieces of minecar bodies scattered all over doors and such. No wheels, unfortunately. And looks like the axles, whatever they were using, were also taken. Still kind of cool to see. But now let's get on to my favorite part. The Orbin. The first thing I saw when I got there, and I saved it for the last thing to explore in the day. This is pretty cool. Still see standing up here. I'm surprised they don't have signs all over it warning you not to walk on it. I guess they just figure that most people are not going to be trooper enough to come up here.
It's amazing how some of the cables are still shiny. Like those right there.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, man.
Did you see the lever? Here. Real quick. You show me. It's got a...
I had to sit in the shade.
so that would normally have a release, would hinge and pivot there, and you'd squeeze it, and it would lift this.
Washington to this, boy.
And it would squeeze, it would
Yeah.
lift that up, and then you can move it. I don't know what it does. But see how it moves.
It releases the Kraken.
Moving something down there covered in rocks. What is this right here? You see this? It's looks like electrical related.
It is. That's something to do with electrical. Something electrical. Wow. 'Cause that's a generator right there.
Yeah.
And that got, see, that's what they did. That's how they got it spinning. Is they had the cable was going at a certain speed, but then they put that, which was a gear induction, to increase the speed. And see, they got big wheel turning a small wheel, then another, and the big wheel connected to the small wheel turning another small wheel, and that's how they brought the speed up to get some power out of the sucker.
That's pretty cool.
And this thing was probably some kind of regulator to turn it to AC voltage or something from DC. Or maybe they ran on DC. They might have ran on DC.
Took the levers for the doors, but oh, they still move. Loading up them buckets. Shipping them down the valley. Onward.
Well, they're fixed by ball.
Can you imagine zip lining from here all the way over to there on just this cable? Probably doesn't look all that tall to you guys, but it's tall.
Well, see, they had a gear induction system here to make this thing spin faster. So when the cables are probably always moving, or they're,
Got some sort of a bucket right here.
shifting in and out of gear.
Yeah. At the end of that electrical motor, it's got a piece of like
Pretty cool.
That's this casing that they usually case steam lines in.
Oh yeah, because it was on. They just had a belt,
Yeah,
big fat belt around.
right.
Fat. It is. It wasn't a. It wasn't.
There's a big belt.
There it is. This is the belt. That's what drove the generator.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Every mine's got the powder house.
Yeah.
Look at those bows, those boards' belly.
There's the door down there.
Someone threw it off. Yeah, probably. Isn't cedar nice? It gives you splinters every time you even touch it when it gets that old. That's pretty cool. So just before we left, I hiked down to the first pile of remains and junk down below the Orbins, and I found what I think are the remains of a jackleg drill, but I'm not totally sure. Somebody out there watching this will definitely know more about this piece of equipment than I do, and I hope they'll leave a comment in the comments section. There was a lot to see at Keane Wonder, and probably a lot I missed. I definitely want to pay this place another visit if I have the time in the future. But until then, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you'll like and favorite this video and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next exploration.